Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about an expansion to Vampire the Masquerade rivals The Wolf and the Rat. Dun, dun, dun! So this is designed by Dan Blanchett, Matt Hyra. The artist isn't attributed, and the publisher is Renegade Game Studio.
All right, you guys, we did our review of the original game. I will put a link to that below. And in that review, I kind of did an overview of how the game actually works. So I'm not going to redo that here because it's very, very, very similar. So go watch that video and then come back to this point. Oh, wait. And we're back. Okay.
I was like, what are we waiting for?
We're waiting for them to click on the review to learn how to play the game and then come back.
Yeah, I figured that out.
They're back now.
It's great to have you back. Thank you for joining us again. So one of the things that is new in this is that you can attach animals, and attached animals will often give you a benefit, but oftentimes, depending on the character that you're playing or the vampire that you're playing, it's actually really beneficial to detach the animals as well. So adding them and then getting rid of them, they both serve a benefit to you, and I really liked what that added in the game.
Yeah, so the main thing this adds is 2 new decks, and they're 2 new factions as well within the Vampire the Masquerade universe. So there's the Gangrel and the Nosferatu factions in this world. And each one of them comes with a pre-made stack of cards, a pre-made deck of cards, as well as having a whole bunch of extra cards that you can add in as well. So the 2 main decks are all about animals, like Bethany said. There's the wolf and the rat. So there's all these different cards that have to do with animals. That's the main thing this adds. It's just more decks.
Yeah, with animals. I mean, the animals are kind of sketchy, but come on, they're like vampires. So another thing that I thought was... okay, so this was just like pure Bethanyism, right? That I liked when I saw the artwork. Which, like, in the base game, you have like these posh, like, city vampires, right? But in the expansion, these are like the nitty gritty, literally sewer dwellers of the vampire world. Like, in some of the artwork, you have pictures of them on the outskirts of looking in on the city. So I just really liked how that integrated, like, this. It made the world a bit fuller, right? It made it encompass more of the world that it's a part of. It's not just all these like posh, prissy vampires.
Nightclubs and
yes. Sometimes there's like a lot darker things involved in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to do with the sewers, like obviously the rats and all that stuff.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a lot more. Yeah, it's the artwork is very stark and different.
Yeah.
Also, one of the things I want to point out is you can make a single clan deck, and now you have more clans to work with. But also, one of the things that I really didn't do when I was playing just the original game is I didn't do a lot of mixing and matching with other decks. You can actually have 2 factions inside of one deck and use the best of both of those worlds, right? And then all the different cards that kind of fill in the gaps that are kind of neutral cards, I guess, right? That don't need certain factions tied to them. I felt a lot more comfortable now that they have more factions to making 2 faction decks and exploring that space. And then you can have, you have the Nosferatu and the animals that go with them, pair that with one of the clans that has a lot to do with, like, let's say, titles or conspiracies or whatever. And then, make the most out of both of those decks, and they have one solid deck that you can go against everybody with. So I felt like there's a lot more customization that you can do now that you have more and more decks. Obviously, that's the point of an expandable card game. It's constantly expanding, so you have more to choose from. So I thought that they pulled that off really, really well. So overall, I think if you like the original idea, the original game, if you played it, or even if you were thinking about playing it, right away, right out of the gate, the more options you have, I think the more you're going to like it. If it doesn't interest you, obviously this isn't going to work for you either. But if anything about the original one and the kind of the expandable card world, that Vampire the Masquerade theme, the fact that there were the 4-player rivals thing going on, which is really, really interesting from the base game, which also obviously is carried over. It all works together really, really well. This just adds you so much more options.
Yeah, essentially, if you liked the base game, I don't see any reason why not to get this. And the base game has so much space for you to put this in. It doesn't even take up any more shelf space. You can put this in the cupboard, because I'm sure everybody out there has a cupboard, like Ryan has a cupboard where you put all the expansion boxes so the expansion pieces fit in the normal box. In fact, let me know in the comments below if you have like a cupboard that you keep hidden that's filled with just expansion boxes, but you keep like all of the other stuff on the shelf. So if you're like Ryan in that aspect, this won't even take up any more space on your shelf, which is a huge benefit.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a fun one, you guys. We liked it a lot.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us on TikTok. We are Ryan and Bethany. On Facebook, we're Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany. And on Twitter, we are Ryan and Bethany 1.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.